Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the animated theater. My name is Mr. Cow, and this is my YouTube channel where I make cartoons, but also I do reaction videos, like this one, for some of my favorite shows, which includes Doctor Who, which is what we're talking about today. Today we are talking about the Doctor Who episode, The Victory of the Daleks. If you enjoy Doctor Who, you might also enjoy my Jefferson Strange cartoons I've been making. So those will be linked at the end of this video. Also, there might be a card thing up there. Jefferson Strange is the Mad Hatter in a science fiction reimagined Wonderland. So, if that sounds interesting to you, I would check it out. I've been enjoying making it. It's been very fun. So, by all means, check that out. I think there's a good chance that you'll enjoy it. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's start by giving this episode a ranking. So, the last episode, The Beast Below, I believe I gave 2.5 stars? I think this episode is better than that episode, even though I have more to complain about in this episode. I think the story appealed to me more, even though there were elements of the story that I didn't like more so than the last episode. Now, I think the first episode I gave 3 stars, and I feel like this is not quite as good as the first episode. So I think I have to give this one 2 3/4. I think this is a pretty good episode, and let's talk about why. I like to always start with the good news, so we'll talk about the things that I liked first before we move on to the things that I didn't like. The first thing I like, technically isn't part of this episode, but it is part of the last episode. I had planned to talk about it in that review. However, I forgot when I was actually recording, and I failed to take a note of it, and didn't remember until that episode is now ready to go up, and I am recording this one. But it's just, I really like the ending of the last episode, the tease for this one, where we see Winston Churchill calling up the Doctor, and the silhouette of the Dalek. I think that's very cool, and it takes advantage of the iconic silhouettes of these characters, of these Doctor Who villains, these monsters. The next thing I really liked is I liked Churchill.
Winston Churchill.
I liked he was trying to take the TARDIS key from the Doctor, and just how he was friends with the Doctor. I thought that was all very fun and very enjoyable for me. Okay, this is a big one. I like that the Doctor just hates the Daleks.
Would you care for some tea?
Stop this! What are you doing here? What do you want?
And I think this is the last episode where it's actually believable that the Doctor really hates the Daleks. I feel like moving forwards, he kind of chills out with the Daleks, which I'm not really a fan of. I like the Doctor to just despise the Daleks.
The Daleks must survive!
The Daleks have failed! Why don't you finish the job and make the Daleks extinct? Rid the universe of your filth! Why don't you just die?
So anyway, that's a good thing about this episode, though, is it really sold that the Doctor does not like the Daleks. The alien Daleks. The Dalek alien monster robot things. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to move on to the bad things about this episode. And the first one I have here is Amy doesn't know about the Daleks. I know that there's sort of a plot point with this. I don't recall how it concludes. So if it concludes well, which I can almost guarantee it won't because Stephen Moffat. Sorry, Stephen. I like you sometimes, but satisfying conclusions to long, overarching stories aren't your strong suit, my dude. Anyway, if it does conclude well, I might make an amendment to me saying I didn't like that. But to me in this episode, it rings so heavily of, for the sake of the story, we need Amy to not know what the Daleks are. And it could have been, I don't know, they could have done something better, I feel. So that's the top things. Now, although I did really like the android doctor and the reveal that he thought he created the Daleks, but actually the Daleks create him, and then the reveal that he's actually a bomb. I like that character, because you know me, I always like a good android. But these next two things do involve that character. The one is in the end, when the doctor's like trying to get him to remember stuff to like deactivate the bomb. I have no idea why that was working. I don't understand why his emotions affected the bomb. This is something that they easily could have just thrown in a line or two there to sort of explain what exactly was going on there. Overall, it just felt a little cheesy to me, which, like, I know Doctor Who doesn't necessarily need to not be cheesy. I like some good campiness in my Doctor Who, but this was cheesy in a way I didn't really care for. And it honestly would have worked for me just fine if they gave some, technobabble explanation as to why what the doctor was doing would work. Or, just a little line or two earlier on in the script that foreshadowed that this will happen. As far as I could tell, we didn't get any of that. Maybe I missed something. If I did, let me know. Anyway, on the topic of cheesiness, I didn't like them just letting the android go. I thought that just seemed, again, a little cheesy and irresponsible. Now, I wouldn't want them to, kill him. I don't think that would have made this story any better. But I wish they would have found a solution besides, oh yeah, you can keep living your life. And I hope that no one stumbles upon the fact that you're an android. I guess it's sort of like the, not too different from the guy in season 1 where his brain opens up when you snap, if you know who I'm talking about. It's not too undifferent from that, but here they made a bigger deal about it and it was more just cheesy, I guess. Anyway, I wish they would have had a more creative, more interesting solution for how to close out that character. But they didn't. They just said, hey, you can run away. We need to go do something very important. But, if you run away, there's nothing we can do about it. And it just seemed irresponsible to me. So, yeah, I didn't vibe with that ending. And even though, the banter between Amy and the Doctor was fun enough. So, anyway, yeah, that is another small thing I would have written differently. Probably. Now, I wanted to... This isn't a bad thing or a good thing. This is just a thing. But I wanted to mention the M&M Daleks. I think a lot of people don't like these designs. I think they're fine. I think the big problem is just how colorful they are. I think if they would have all done that clean white color, that would have shown, like, sort of, the cleanness of the design, but then the colors made it a little too silly. And I think that's what a lot of people had a problem with their designs. Something interesting about these designs is that the older Dalek design, they were designed to be the same height as Billie Piper, who plays Rose, because of, which is, well, it's clear why if you think about the first episode. But then this Dalek design, they were designed to be eye level with Matt Smith. So anyway, that's just sort of interesting about those designs. And that is the end of this review. The moral that I have found in this story is actually, it's from our android boy. As much as I didn't like the plot point necessarily, the moral that I'm going to draw from this episode is that sometimes, like, our hurt and our pain doesn't need to be just forgotten and, like, ignored, but, like, sometimes by remembering our hurt and our pain, that will actually help us through life, just like it helped this man not to explode. And you could also draw the moral that, like, because he was getting sad about his parents dying, and that didn't really work to get him to stop exploding. But then Amy was like, oh, well, have you ever loved someone that you knew you shouldn't? So a sub-moral could be that, yes, it's good to remember the sad things, but also it is good to remember, like, good emotions as well, like love. Like, love might beat out the sadness of losing your parents. Anyway, so that's sort of the moral I'm gonna draw. Again, these are sort of stretches for these morals, but it makes this process a little funner to me if I can sort of get a little bit philosophical. But that will be the end of this review. Let me know in the comment section if you like this video, if you drew a different moral. That could be really fun, just hearing what all of the viewers, what morals they drew from every episode. I could enjoy that. Yeah, so let me know those things. Like this video. My videos tend to get a lot more views than they do likes. So if you could do me a solid favor and, just click that like button, that helps these videos to be seen by more people. And yeah, if you enjoy the way I kind of talk about these episodes of Doctor Who, I will link, okay, there's my hand. I will link the other Doctor Who reviews, my playlist, I'll link it up there. I'll link my Jefferson Strange cartoons right here. And if you like Star Trek, I'll also link Star Trek Next Generation. I'll put that up above my head. So you can click on any of those things. And also you can subscribe if you like any or all of those things. I put out 2 videos a week, 1 animation and 1 review style video like this. So yeah, check out all the things, hit the subscribe, hit the like, share this video if there's like other Doctor Who people around you that would be interested in it. And with that being said, goodbye, and don't forget to brush your teeth.